you can absolutely be socially spontaneous and careful about your nutrition. And the first thing I'm going to say is believing that you cannot is a recipe for disaster.
I completely agree. That was very brave of you to say, Kate. We're going to get the trolls coming
Don't
at us
hurt me.
now.
Don't hurt me.
What would be your level of importance of these three things?
I've got this. Okay. I'm going to go sleep, protein,
Yep.
calories. And here, let me tell you why.
Ooh, okay.
Sleep. Hello and welcome back to the How To Fitness Podcast. I'm Kate Lyman.
And I'm Michael Ujoa.
And we have a Q&A for you today.
I like a Q&A. Q&As
I do
are fun.
too. It's like rapid fire. These questions today come from a bank of Q&A questions that people have submitted to the podcast. So that's where these are coming from today. And I'm excited. We're kind of focusing in on beginners in nutrition and fitness. Does that feel right to say, Michael?
Yeah, I
It's
think so.
If you're kind of newer to your movement, to eating in a way to the lines with your goals, whatever that looks like, this one is for you. I'm going to get right to it.
I was also just going to say, though, with that, like sometimes even the experienced pros, I'm going to accidentally put us in that bracket there, Kate, sometimes need to go back to the basics and can really benefit from nailing these too. So yeah, these are kind of targeted towards the kind of newer folk to exercise and nutrition, but I mean, I could use the advice as well. So I'm going to be listening to your answers closely, Kate.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And if you listen to our other episodes, and basically any deep dive we do, what do we always come back to? We always come back to the basics without a doubt every time.
Every time. Yep.
All right, Michael, you get our first question. How do you stay consistent with the gym? I can't motivate myself to go for long.
The first thing I would say that is that motivation is always just going to ebb and flow. I know it does for me personally anyway. Like I'm never always motivated to exercise. I would actually argue that I'm more often than not motivated to exercise. However, I always know that I'm going to feel so much better if I can consistently do something. So I always have that in the back of my mind, no matter what I do. And that helps a little bit. So rather than relying on motivation that is going to go up and down, depending on what life is throwing at you, is you have to create the habits and routines. I know that sounds really, really boring, but it is really what you have to do in order to have any kind of longevity when it comes to especially exercise. I'm really structured in terms of the way that I exercise. I schedule out the week before what days I'm going to be working out on. So I know like Monday is this workout, Wednesday is this workout, Thursday a light stretch, you know? So I sit down, I plan it all out the week before and I schedule it in my diary as if I've got a business meeting. Just like I do, I schedule in all my calls for the clients that I work with. I schedule in exactly when my workouts are going to be and I don't let anything get booked over the top of it. And that truly is the only way I stay consistent. Occasionally I move out of that routine and then I realize that I'm skipping lots and lots of workouts frequently. So I revert back to doing this. So yeah, if you can just kind of set out a schedule, know what workouts you're doing at the start of the week and just try and stick to them as best you can. It's kind of the only way that you're really going to make a good go of things. I don't know if you do that as well, Kate. Do you schedule them out before?
I work out at 1 p.m., which I understand is like a privilege of working for myself, but that's just the time that I set aside. I have an alarm that goes off at 1 p.m. on my phone every day. I don't schedule meetings in that block, but at 1 p.m. my phone goes off and I like drop it.
Is it like a really good alarm or is it just like an alarm?
It's just like an alarm. I wish I should do something more fun, right? I mean,
yeah.
I'm like excited by the alarm. It's like, okay, stop what you're doing, go work out.
Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
follow a program, so I'm not thinking about what to do. I cannot do the thing where it's like, okay, what am I doing for my workout today? It's like, no, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I just do what it says. And if I want to like swap out a movement or whatever, sure. But I stick to it pretty hard. So, I mean, to your point, it's like taking away some of the decision making, right? Building momentum rather than relying on motivation is what I talk about with my clients a lot.
Yeah, I do that. Like even the night before I work out, I usually work out in the morning. Recently it's kind of been changing because our sleep's been bad, but I'll lay out my clothes in the order I put them on in as I get out of bed. Like any hurdle that you can remove to get you to doing that workout is only going to be a winner. Like all my morning snacks are laid out on the kitchen worktop. My clothes are laid out in the order. Like the gym, like I've got a home gym once again, privilege and all, but I always have the things laid out in the way that I'm going to do them. So that early morning alarm, there's fewer thought processes that I have to go through to get me towards that workout. Yeah.
Love it.
Okay,
I hope that's helpful.
So, right, Kate, question for you. So I really hate food tracking. So is there any advice to improve my diet without tracking food?
Absolutely. So tracking is a tool and one of many and not necessary. I think anyone who will make you think that tracking is necessary is not equipped with other strategies we can implement to help improve our nutrition. So if we're talking about, this question says, improve my diet, I'm thinking eating with more intention, eating in alignment with maybe feeling your fittest, your best, your healthiest, etc., eating good nutrient dense foods, things like that. Tracking is a form of self-monitoring, right? And there are so many other self-monitoring techniques out there. You've probably heard of like the hand portions, right? Our hands are all different sizes and we all need different amounts of food. So measuring, a palm of protein or a fist of veggies, it sounds elementary, but it's actually a really good way to self-monitor portion control. Eating until you're 80% full, which is really hard to do. That sounds like a simple thing, but that requires a lot of like overriding our old eating habits, slowing down our meals with things like putting down your fork between bites or sips of water between bites, things that bring mindfulness and just more intention to our food choices. Kind of check the box in a similar way that tracking does. Tracking gives you a little more data, a little more feedback, but these are other self-monitoring techniques that matter just as much. Another one I can think of is eating your food from most satiating to least. So you're eating your protein first and then your veggies. These are things that keep you full longer, and then you can go for the more calorie dense, less fibrous or protein-based foods. I know a lot of these sound like basics, but they're really helpful and execute the same type of strategies we're trying to do when we track eating in a repetitive nature. That doesn't mean boring, but similar breakfast each day, similar structured lunch. Mondays we have pasta, Tuesday we have tacos, something like that. Bringing structure can be really great. And I think a huge part of, for this person asking this question, improving nutrition without tracking is recognizing tracking doesn't have to be part of it.
Yeah, I really like that. I liked your point at the start where anyone who tells you that you have to track, it's usually a red flag of coaching, right? I've been criticized for this in the past, but I've said like, if your coach only has one way of coaching you and all of their clients do exactly the same thing, then truly find someone else, because it is a major red flag. Your coaching approach or your approach to exercise or nutrition should work for you as an individual. It's not just cookie cutter for everyone. So yeah, really cool answer. Thanks, Kate.
Absolutely. Okay, Michael, can body composition / appearance change without losing weight?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I guess it kind of works the other way around, is sometimes like you can lose weight when body composition doesn't change. In short, I'm going to start that answer again so I don't sound like I'm having a meltdown in my head from having lack of sleep. Yes. Body's composition appearance can change without losing weight. Right, little disclaimer here. I've had 3 nights of really, really bad sleep, so please do not bully me, Kate. So as we all know, kind of like stripping it right back to the basics, like muscle mass can go up or down, body fat can go up or down. So depending on what is happening with those two things, depending on the way that you exercise and the way that you eat, it's why scale weight is a really inefficient tool for monitoring progress. I'm using air quotes as I say that. I have a few clients who have weight loss as a goal. A lot of the time their bodies will change massively, but the scale weight doesn't change at all, simply because like body fat might go down, muscle mass might go up, or the other way around for whatever reason. So I think if you are wanting to monitor progress in any way, once again in air quotes, I would say that you need to be using kind of multiple different tools for monitoring that progress, whether it is scale weight or photos or tape measures or strength numbers in the gym or the way your clothes are fitting. Like, there's just so many different tools that you can use. And my overriding message after my slight brain fart at the start of this answer is don't just rely on one tracking tool, because it's just going to scupper you. You're just going to get incredibly frustrated when there's absolutely no reason to be. Yeah.
Wow. Scupper is a very fun word. I've literally never heard that in my life.
Oh,
Please
really?
Explain.
Oh, wow. Scuppered.
Like
tripped up or confused.
Okay.
Yeah. Like you've been scuppered, like you've been kind of done over. Yeah. Like don't trip yourself up.
What a cute word.
Oh, is that an English word? Okay. There we go.
Sure have never heard it. It sounds like
There we go.
a seafood to me. I don't.
It does sound delicious.
I'd like, give me some scupper, please.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like a lot of the clients that I train are based in the US, and quite regularly I'll say a word and they'll be like, can I just jump in? What the hell did you mean by that word that you just said? Occasionally I'll throw in like a random Scottish word too, because I've lived here for so long. And even my family will be like, what word
did
you just say? Like fusty, for example. Do you know what fusty means?
No.
It means like
crusty.
Yeah, kind of like dirty or like a bit gross. Like it's a really good descriptive word. If something's like a bit fusty, a bit gross, like it's a really great descriptor. But people outside of Scotland will have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll be adding these to my vocabulary.
There we go. Right. Where were we, Kate? Right. I'm going to throw the next question back at you. So this is a fun one. I really wanted to see what your answer was on this one, Kate. So how would you rank these 3 things in terms of importance? Okay. So we have sleep, calories, and protein.
Can you give me context? Like, I know this is all we have from the listener who asked this question, but like for health?
Yeah, I would say for just like general health and performance, like someone who is just like trying to live a long, healthy life, they exercise like pretty consistently. What would be a level of importance of these three things? Yeah.
I've got this. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go sleep, protein, calories. And here, let me tell you why.
Ooh, okay.
Sleep. When we sleep well, our recovery is going to be better, our energy is going to be better, and our appetite regulation and ability to listen to and honor our hunger cues and fullness cues is better. When I have crappy sleep or when I am so tired, I want junk food. Like, I want like less nutrient dense food. I kind of am all over the place mentally. Like everything is harder, right? So sleep, I think, is just like this blanket that regulates all the things we want to be doing, makes following through on habits easier. Second, I'm going to go with protein, because if we're eating adequate protein, it's a lot easier to keep our overall caloric intake in check. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient. And when we're conscious of protein intake, we're typically structuring meals and snacks around protein. That makes them more filling. We're able to listen to how we're, feeling our fullness and stuff better. And I think sleep and protein are going to regulate our caloric intake, not more than focusing on calories, but in a way where we don't need to necessarily focus on calories as much.
I
What do
really
you
like
think?
that. No, I really like that.
Do you
answer.
agree, disagree?
No, I think I do agree. I definitely had sleep first. It was kind of a toss up with the calories and protein. I think maybe I was getting a bit defensive with this answer because I know that so many coaches are obsessed with protein and put people on like obscenely high protein intake. So I'm like,
Not
do I want to
necessary.
like fight against that? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Like if you get the protein intake right, it just helps with like satiety, blood sugar level balancing and recovery and everything. So yeah, I like it. Yeah, good answer. I welcome anyone listening. Like, please let us know your thoughts on which you would put in that order.
It's going to depend on everyone too. But I'm thinking, okay, I'm talking to a general population. That's what I'm going to say. I think sleep is going to help us regulate everything else a bit more.
Yeah. See, if you were a true gym bro, Kate, you would have said protein is the most important thing in the world.
Well, I've been outed. I'm not a gym bro.
Darn.
All right, Michael, how much alcohol is too much alcohol?
Off the bat, alcohol has no benefit whatsoever. If we're talking like direct benefit of drinking something or consuming a product, right? There's nothing good in alcohol that your body is going to benefit from. Like it's a toxin and your body will want to get rid of it as soon as you consume it. Therefore, I would probably argue that any alcohol is too much alcohol in terms of our health and longevity. That's the very boring fitness professional answer. I haven't drunk for 2.5 years because alcohol makes me feel awful. It completely ruins my mental health and I'm better without it. So any alcohol is too much alcohol for me. I appreciate that there's maybe some people who can have some alcohol and they enjoy the social setting that alcohol brings. Therefore, is going out for a few drinks with your friends going to have a net positive impact on your health and well-being? Then arguably so. So I would say boring answer, none, don't have any. But I would also then say on the other side of that, it's going to be completely individual for every person listening to this because some people might deal with it a little bit better than others and a little bit is fine for them. I hope I answered that well.
I think you did.
Okay, cool.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
And I think anyone listening who's like on the fence about it is going to take what they need from your answer.
Yeah, I think so. Alcohol's a really funny one. I've done a few posts on social media about my relationship with alcohol and why I cut it out in terms of my family history with alcohol, how it makes me feel mentally. I really encourage anyone, if you're at the point of thinking, I don't feel great when I drink and I'm considering cutting it out, I couldn't recommend that enough. Like I now feel so much better mentally and physically from not drinking than I ever did when I was drinking before. So you have my full support. And if you want to reach out with any questions or anything, I'm happy to help. But I also appreciate it's a bit of a touchy subject for some people. Mm-hmm. So I try not to tell people what they should do in terms of alcohol intake, because I know that that can end badly too.
Yeah, I think it's really personal for some, but I also think at the same time, for whom the topic may be touchier are maybe those who need to evaluate,
I completely agree. That was very brave of you to say, Kate. We're going to get the trolls coming
Don't
at us
hurt me.
now.
Don't hurt me. And you know what? I don't drink either. It makes it feel hard for me to talk about the subject because I truly am talking about it with no personal interest in mind. I don't really care what people do. There's no morality attached when I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But the fact that I don't drink makes it feel like I can't talk on the subject, which is hard.
Yeah, I kind of get that too, because I don't want people to think I'm coming as authority figure or kind of like any smugness behind it at all, right? Like I literally come with this with like complete non-judgmental. Like if you want to do it, cool, crack on, like it doesn't bother me. However, I have seen how great I feel from not cutting it out, so I would happily talk about the benefits if people are up for listening.
Yeah, I think that's great. It's good to open yourself up to that. Same here.
Right, last question coming out, UK. How can I be socially spontaneous and careful about my nutrition?
I freaking love this question. I didn't read that one.
I knew this was a Kate. As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is a question to throw at Kate. I feel like this is your bag.
I love this question. You can absolutely be socially spontaneous and careful about your nutrition. And the first thing I'm going to say is believing that you cannot is a recipe for disaster. Mm-hmm. Your nutrition is not going to be sustainable or supportive for you if you don't believe you can have a social life while being careful about your nutrition. That's the first part. But let's think back to what we talked about with the self-monitoring techniques, alternatives to tracking. These are habits, right? These are things that we can practice in any setting. So when I'm working with my clients and they're very socially spontaneous, whatever the situation, we're talking about, okay, the same habits we're focusing on, building a meal around protein, eating mindfully, these little intentional habits we're putting in to slow yourself down, monitoring portion sizes, etc. Those apply to any setting. Sometimes even say you're at a wedding and you have no say and they just like, here's your plated meal. You can still in that instance be conscious of how much you're eating, how much you're drinking, in what order you eat, things like that, right? So there are no meals for which we can't implement some type of mindfulness or some type of intention, whether that's thinking about the portion size or what we eat first or how slowly we eat or whatever. And I will say, one other technique I think can be really helpful when we're navigating social outings and food is going into a scenario and thinking, what's the purpose of why I'm here? Is this because a bunch of friends invited me out last minute and I want to hang with them? Let that be more about the social event than the food itself. Or is this about, oh, last minute we got this reservation to this place I've wanted to go to forever. It's like, fixed course meal. Then enjoy it. And, let that be okay, because not every meal to be aligned with your goals has to mean low calorie or not overeating or whatever. Like that's going to happen too, but let's just not make it the majority of the time.
I like that. That's a good answer. I think a lot of people overthink eating out, don't they? Like rightfully so. Like if people have goals that they want to achieve, you're going to overthink every aspect of the food environment. But I would say the large majority of the time, people don't go out and eat all of the time. Like they do tend to be like once a week, once every couple of weeks, you're going out for a nice meal. Like sometimes it's okay just to switch your brain off and like enjoy your meal.
Absolutely.
Like sometimes switching off and just kind of doing whatever feels most natural and feels great is the best option for you. So yeah, there's just so much nuance around this topic, but that was a solid answer, Kate. Thank you.
Well, and I think the mindset part comes into it too, right? If you're going into a meal thinking, because this is a spontaneous social meal out, because I'm at a restaurant, this automatically means bad. I got air quotes here for my goals. Like we're not going to make decisions that feel good. We're going to overthink and overeat or something like that, right? Like recognizing that first and foremost, it's fine. You should be able to go out and have a spontaneous meal is like, feels to me like first step of being like, okay, I got this. Confidence building,
I like it.
All right.
There we go. All questions done. There we go. Quick fire. That was me clicking really quick. I don't know if that picked up on the microphone because I was just in silence.
We had started by saying this was more beginner based, but actually I don't think it was. I think it was for all of us.
Just have too much to chat about on these topics, Kate, for them to be truly quick fire. It was good. No, I think that was really helpful. As you said, for the newbies and those a little bit more experienced. So as always with these Q&As, if you have any further questions you want us to answer on future episodes or anything you just want us to answer via direct message, like feel free to reach out to either us on social media. It's at KL Nutrition or at Michael Ujaya PT. These episodes are all on YouTube. Please share, like, subscribe. Kate, have I missed anything out on that list of things that people should do?
I think that is all of it.
Okay, that's good. So please, spread the word. We really enjoy doing these episodes and we hope you enjoy listening to them. And that's us again for another week. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks for listening.